You listen to Triple J with the Doctor, and in the studio, the first of this afternoon's guests. Hello there, Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails, sir.
Hello.
Hello, you've beaten Josh here.
I was going for fashionably late, but I mistimed traffic today.
This is the problem. This is you managed to beat the traffic. I guess you're playing tomorrow night just next door. So
That's right.
The Entertainment Centre, the first of some massive shows around Australia. How have the rehearsals been going?
It's been all right. You know, with Nine Inch Nails, we changed the lineup. We went from an 8-piece band when we finished touring last year, and have reworked things into a 4-piece band to kind of make it exciting and different for us.
It seems to always be different for you, though. I saw the show at the Staples Centre and then, as in on the internet, and I saw a show at Fuji Rock, and those shows were both different from each other. Something different again for Australia.
Yeah, it should be radically different than both those. We're just trying to treat each leg of the tour like its own separate thing, and I think that makes it more exciting for us and gets around the fact everybody's seen everything there is on the internet these days.
I'm sorry about that. We do. In fact, we also see you behind the scenes at these shows. You do spend a fair bit of time walking around being a little bit grumpy at the people setting the stuff up.
It's kind of my thing. You know?
But because there's so much to consider, all of those visuals and to try and get the sound right in the same space.
Yeah, I've always looked at it like, you know, if I have your attention for a couple hours, I want to do the most I can with it and frame the music in a way that feels interesting.
So how is this one looking so far?
This is a bit... We're trying to keep things much more off the cuff, unpredictable. So I think every show should be quite different than the one before.
All right, so there's no locked in, if you need to go off on a tangent on something.
Yeah, the problem with doing an incredibly theatrical set for us is you start to get locked into a kind of script, you know, where it starts and ends and kind of has the same flow. And that's fun for a little while, and then it gets kind of tedious. So these will be different every night.
And Josh isn't here yet, so you're free to say whatever you like about him. But as being on the road with Queens of the Stone Age, have you guys played shows just together before?
Yeah, several years ago. And if my memory worked, I could tell you when that was. But we toured the States together, you know. And I've always been a big fan of Queens, and it's always fun to play with somebody you respect and get to see him play every night. So this was a no-brainer when the idea came up. It was, yeah, I'd love to do that. And
have you seen each other in Australia yet?
Have you
seen Josh in Australia yet?
I've heard he's around. I've not yet seen him, although I sense his presence near.
All right, well, we better chuck a tune on by 9 Inch Nails. I was going to do, when we spoke to Josh, he said you guys were tossing a coin for headliner each night, so I was going to toss a coin to see which song we played each night. But I've been that I can see Josh just outside the door. Hello, Mr. Homme.
Hello. Hello.
Oh, look, they just hugged. Isn't that nice?
Nice.
Hey, Josh, how you doing, sir?
Fantastic. Thanks for asking.
That is quite. I'm just going to play a Nine Inch Nails song right now, and when we get back, we've got Joshua Homme and Trent Reznor in the studio. Is that all right with you, sirs?
That seems fair.
On Triple J, that is 9 Inch Nails from Hesitation Mark's copy of... and in the studio, Trent Reznor from 9 Inch Nails and Mr. Joshua Homme. You guys just had a little good day there, a bit of a hug?
Yeah, it's been a long time.
You did mention the last time you saw each other, you guys was broadcast on television. We don't need to go into the details of that. It was a little bit annoying, I suppose, at the Grammys, but you're here now.
No, that wasn't it. It was our cooking show, our failed cooking show that we tried to launch.
What was the problem with the cooking show?
It's too hot for TV.
Nude in the kitchen with Josh and Trent. It's always a problem. Oh, dear. Now, so you were here as well. Have you been to the venue? Have you guys started your rehearsals yet, Josh?
No. I mean, we've just been kind of enjoying Sydney, really.
Got out and having a look. It's a massive bunch of shows you guys are going to be undertaking. And you've got your wife along as well. Brodie Dahl's going to be opening up.
Yeah.
Are you going to, is there any plans to get Brodie up on stage, do anything with you guys?
Well, I mean, I think the initial plan is just for everyone to do their thing, and because I think, there's something to just doing your thing, I think so much of the time, it sounds lovely to go ahead and like smash it all together, but let's just start by everyone kicking ass at doing their thing.
Right, fair enough. But Trent, you were just in Japan, and your wife got up on stage with you there, and you guys did some How to Destroy Angels songs. Is your wife here with you now?
She is here, yes.
Are your kids here as well?
Yes.
And Josh, are your and Brody's kids here as well?
Yeah, they're actually, both the kids are going to be at a park playing before each other.
Are they tossing a coin for the headliner in the park as well?
Trucks versus kangaroos.
Is there a creche backstage, or are they going to be looked after? How is this all working out? Or is
Wait, what's creche?
A creche is what do you call it in America? A playpen kind of thing?
I thought you were going to say plague.
Is there a plague backstage?
Creche.
You guys organised a plague?
Creche. That's a great sounding word.
It's like a preschool kind of
triage. That's a great word too.
Send us a text. What is your favourite word that you would like to hear Trent and or Josh say? Perhaps of French ancestry. Like
great. Now we're your toys.
But no, of course not. I definitely haven't got you guys in here just to say words.
Yeah.
Say Collapsia.
Collapsia.
Are you guys playing that tonight? Oh, sorry, tomorrow night when you play, and for the rest of the show.
Yeah, we've been playing it. It's speaking of strange music, yeah.
And Trent, of course, is on that.
Yeah, he is.
But you're going to do your own thing tonight. How's it going to work?
Well, I think the key to mystery is to mystery's like smoke, and the key is not to blow it all away.
That is true.
So I think hotboxing the idea with mystery is really the way to go. Yeah.
All right, I'll keep the mystery of the show under. Someone told me that Alex Turner came up with the title Collapsia.
He did. We were kind of in a friendly texting war of words, and he texted me that word, and I thought, what the hell was this? And then the definition came closely thereafter, and the definition was a condition wherein things appear more beautiful than they really are. Yeah.
That's a nice. That's a nice word.
I don't really know if that's nice or not. I wish I had it. If it's a disease, I wish I had it.
It's like a glamour kind of disease.
Yeah. Sounds good to me.
Trent, how about the all Reznor horn section? Has this made an appearance in any of these shows?
I retired that on the last tour, actually.
There was a saxophone on stage?
I talked a guy that used to be in the band into doing it, yeah.
Was this when you did the Bridge School benefit? Is that what? Did you do all strings and horns or something? Someone was telling me
strings back then.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good. I wish I would have thought of that when I did it.
I did. Did you forced your drummer to learn cello at one point as well, didn't you, Trent?
I wouldn't say force is the right word, but yeah. He's
that's something your parents do, I think. It's forced you to learn cello.
You shouldn't be up to the dude in your band. Okay, well, let's have a listen to another tune. Queens of the Stone Age and Nine Inch Nails hitting the stage for the very first show of a bunch of shows tomorrow night at the Entertainment Centre. A whole bunch of gigs. If you haven't got the list in front of you, I'll read them out soon. And here is Queens of the Stone Age on Triple J. On Triple J, that's Queens of the Stone Age from
nice segue. Didn't he do gay porn?
You should be. It's a shame we're not webcamming the conversation between Josh and Trent while these songs are on. Josh Homme and Trent Reznor in the studio.
The real interview goes on during the songs.
We tried that once. We had like Ross Noble, this comedian, in, and he'd play songs, and while the songs were on, they'd have this other radio show, but it just gets confusing, and there's too much talk about, ex-members of 80s bands and gay pornography, which is fine.
Par for the course.
Par for the course. Hey, speaking of par for the course, and that is a terrible segue, but you guys are in town, that your family's in town, and there are some other friends in town. Josh, tell me about this.
Reverse exorcism!
Tell me about Sweethead.
Oh, yeah, Sweethead is here too. I guess they're doing some after parties as well.
Yes, that's the thing.
The show doesn't end.
This is the thing.
It doesn't end with, Nails and Queens and Brody. It just keeps on going.
Well, this Sweethead, which is it's Troy Van Leeuwen and his wife
Serena Sims,
and so their band is playing after your gigs finish.
Yeah, and I think Dean is DJing too.
I saw that too.
Yeah. It's like and until they close everything, But I'm sure if there's some sort of hot dog stand open, I'll be doing sleight of hand or something, making the hot dogs disappear.
Do you know any, apart from that magic trick, and I think we were talking about that with the washed up 80s star, do you know any magic tricks, Josh?
I do. Oh. Check your wallet.
Oh.
It's actually filled for the first time.
That's great. Are you guys at that level where you do have, I'll just, as a tangent, where you have magicians, magicians filming.
What? What are you talking
You know
about
how
already?
You know
Where
how
could this be going?
Yeah. Are you guys at a level where you have magicians? That's actually what you said. I'm just reading the transcript.
I meant when you. Do you
Yeah,
guys-
they make the cool disappear during interviews.
Oh, I can't believe we got there. We got there in the end. We got there to the embarrassing bit of the interview. Excellent. Jay. In that case, I'm going to completely change the subject and not talk about that and ask about why Ellen DeGeneres was in this little ad recently.
Once there was a girl who was hungry for the perfect music to dance to.
Now, Trent, this is for something called Beats Music, which you kind of developed.
Yeah.
You, like, not only making music and releasing a massive album last year after a little while, but also putting, like, inventing a music streaming platform.
It was an opportunity to do something that I thought could make a real impact on the way people consume music. And I felt it was worth spending the last 3 years of my life dedicating a decent portion of it into trying to get that right.
How deep into the programming and stuff do you get?
I'm in design, so I'm not sitting doing coding, but it's been trying to make sure the spirit of this thing is right and the idea is right, and making sure the right people have been hired and the tone stays right. And we launched in the States, and it's been going well.
So people will be aware of like your RDOs and your Spotify's. It's in the same vein as those kind of things.
It's conceptually takes the idea of a streaming music subscription service like Spotify and adds a real importance around the idea of curation and people touching music and presenting you with stuff that is good, rather than it feeling like an algorithm doing that for you.
Like when people would make mixtapes for each other and stuff.
Just like that, or having your own knowledgeable indie record store guide person showing you around.
Nice.
That's kind of the feel.
Did you guys used to make mixtapes for people when you guys were growing up? Was there much of that kind of in the...
I mean,
did.
that's really all I did. I mean, that was a way to like sort of bond with someone that you kind of knew, or tell them how you felt, or there's a whole subtext to making a good mixtape for somebody.
Pre-social network, that was your kind of calling card. That showed whether you had good taste or bad taste.
Was there
Yeah, a lot of thought could make or break you.
Yeah.
You know.
Did you have to? Was there one song that you just remember that was the one you knew if you threw that on the mixtape, bam, you had them?
Well, before there was Rickrolling, I used to smooth operator people.
Sade.
Yeah, because not only because it's a great song, but because it's a great palate cleanser for GBH, and
You put the punk rock on afterwards.
and you just yeah. So I used to do stuff like that. Yeah.
A bit, so you'd be sort of you'd hear some heavy metal, maybe a bit of punk rock, a bit of GBH, whatever, and then
Exactly.
put it in there.
Yeah, you should try it during interviews. Oh wait, you just did. That's great.
Oh dear. And Trent, I mean, this has got saxophone on it, so obviously you would have been a fan of Sade.
Thanks for bringing that up.
Sax appeal. That's what it has.
Let's talk about
I think
sax.
I was a Can We Still Be Friends Todd Rundgren. It showed that you were smart, but also in touch with your feelings.
That's not. And Todd Rundgren sings in one version of the Cars these days. I think they call the Cars tour.
Let's not talk about that. But
I can't talk about anything with you guys. Gosh darn.
I like how it's like, let's not even talk about it.
Smack that down. Let's smack that down as well. Let's talk about this. Okay, Trent, I've got a rad set list in front of me. It's got a bunch of great 90s hip-hop on it. Ice Cube's on it, Cypress Hill, Far Side, Method Man and Redman. Can you tell me about the Beats Grammy party that happened?
there was a party during the Grammys for Beats Music. And all those acts. What we did,
Yeah.
and this is incredible, I'm glad we're talking about this, is somebody got the idea to make a playlist of great 90s hip-hop acts and then actually have it come to life with all of these artists actually performing one after another. And it was incredible.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. So Bones, Thugs and Harmony, into Nas, into Dr. Dre, to Blackstreet's No Diggy as well.
Yeah, and it was. It actually went off without a hitch. I had nothing to do with it, but I thought I was there, and it was actually pretty cool.
I don't think these artists have been together on stage ever. You got
I'm
people
sure they
from
haven't.
Wu-Tang and Busta Rhymes, and then closing with Eminem.
Yeah, but that's an interesting idea for like a festival too, is to like, this idea of curating and really getting an insight into someone's taste, and perhaps if it went even further and went into art and movies and books too. Festival that sort of encapsulated that. I think anything that's sort of, I think it's interesting to know an artist that I'm into, they're sort of the umbrella of the things that they're really into. So that notion is maybe could really catch a fire,
Would be quite expensive to tour this one in particular. Have you guys curated festivals before?
Just the one I do in my house.
How is that? How is that going?
It's sparsely attended, but it's critically acclaimed.
Who are the critics? I'll look them up.
They're my kids.
And they're here, so we can ask them, where are they? No, they're not here right now. What a shame. How about you, Trent? Have you curated? Got any?
No, not that I can remember, but
I mean,
I don't remember that far back. It may have happened at one point.
There's a real big blank spot there.
What years are they in? No, this is. I mean, this pretty massive tour is curated by you two, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I mean, I think what's cool about this tour is that, I've been for the last few years saying, why don't bands, co-headline together? Why don't they do something? Lots of these festivals are like 50 or 60 bands. It's too much to sort of encapsulate an idea. The idea's too grand, And I think the notion of like somewhere between 6 and 10 bands is much stronger. Mm-hmm. And if the wingspan of it was a little more lateral, where it was like artwork and film, and even I'd be into book recommendations too. I mean, I'd be interested to hear what an artist I was into was reading. Mm-hmm. So perhaps this is the start to it, because there's not a lot of co-headlining going on. There's not a lot of that solidarity and kind of like cool competition in a good way,
I like the idea of solidarity and you said cool competition, because it's not a whole bunch of bands that are put up against each other and stuff and trying to sort of get more people to their gigs.
I think everyone's kind of chasing the dough all the time instead of trying to make art a little more. And I like, I know that Trent and myself, you get so obsessed with trying to set your own bar that it's nice to sort of put bands together and have, like I said, have that solidarity and kind of have something that's greater than the sum of the parts.
Plus, I always think about, if what I've curated is when we go out and headline, I always choose the people I want to play with, through the eyes of, hey, who would I want to go see, and make it an evening's worth of entertainment. And, when I think Josh brought up to me, hey, you want to play Australia and New Zealand together? It was like, yeah, I would very much like to do that. And it is, I have to be confident in my own band, because it's not easy to play with these guys, and I know I've got to,
Yeah, we got to throw down or someone's going to get hurt.
There will be an underlying...
But that's great. That's kind of like where everyone wins, Yeah. I think that there's a real satisfaction in that, knowing you have to go all out. You don't really have a choice, So it's kind of, that's an exciting facet to what this tour is,
You can extend that, of course, to the collaborations that you guys have done as well on your last album, on Like Clockwork. And Trent, did I hear you doing something with Deadmau5 next year as well?
No.
Oh, okay. Fine.
Well, he just had a rodent problem at his house.
Oh, that was it. Sorry, I've got the police transmitter that I'm always listening to, and yeah, you've sent someone.
Well, but there's a distinct difference between working together in the studio and doing something like this. There's like this, like we're saying, this notion of everyone has to, be on their, have their sort of A game going and really leave it all out there, which is much different than when you're working in the studio and really you're just both searching to try to chase down something really cool and special and different, and getting to do that with somebody is a much different journey than what this tour is, I mean, so it's kind of cool to have both of those go down within a year, because they really are completely different,
Mm-hmm. Well, you've done all that, and now here you guys are. It's almost time for the 4 o'clock news, which means I've got to let you guys go. But thank you so much for coming in. And I mean, these shows are going to be great. The 7th of March, the 6th and 7th tomorrow at Sydney Entertainment Centre, and the next day, a whole bunch of shows: Newcastle, Perth, Adelaide, 2 in Melbourne, Brisbane, Auckland, and Christchurch, and then you're back in Hobart, Josh.
Yeah,
at the Odeon Theatre. Only got announced the other day.
Yeah,
and it's going to be red times.
Doing a little Hobart. Yeah.
Awesome. And of course, a surprise each night as to what shows you play, what songs you play, and all that kind of business. Who gets up on stage?
I got to flip a coin, man. Got to keep everyone, including ourselves, guessing. That's the way to do it.
All right, gentlemen. Well, have an excellent time. Thank you so much for coming into Triple J.
Thanks for having us.
And I thought I'll just play a little bit of Collapsia to end the, what's it? Beautiful.
It's a condition wherein things appear more beautiful than they really are.
That's beautiful. Thank you, gentlemen. Triple J, here it is.
It's the Doctor on Triple J.